Hi guys, my library here. Today I'm going to be talking about I Fell in Love with Hope by Lankali. I finished reading it a couple days ago and I hated this book so much that I figured I would go ahead and do a video on it. Now, in this book, we follow five characters. There's Sam, the main character. There's Kerr. I cannot pronounce that, but they call him C throughout the book. There's Neo, there's Sunny, and then there's Hickory. Before I go ahead and dive into this book, I would just like to preface this with a spoiler warning. I'm not gonna go too in depth, but I am going to spoil a lot of things that is happening in this book. And I also want to go ahead and give our trigger warnings. So the author has it on page 1 in the foreword. This story contains domestic abuse, eating disorders, intense physical bullying, self-harm, suicide, rape, depression, anxiety, and gory descriptions of disease. So whilst I was reading this book, I kept making little notes about the characters, the 5 of them on my phone. And these notes did not change when certain things were figured out and I got to the end of the story. So I have here Sam, main character, dead, question mark, 2 question marks, because I was adamant that Sam was dead and my entire family was telling me Sam wasn't dead and I was losing it. I was right, by the way, but not. I'll explain that later. According to Sam, their depression is consensual, and Sam gave Sam his name. We'll come back to that. C, he has half a heart. He's a swimmer, and his heart gave out a year ago during competition. C is his parents' youngest child, and his mother wanted to name him after her heart. When I read this, my heart hurt. Then there's Neo. He was admitted with an eating disorder 3 years ago, but in present day, he has a spinal issue and is in a wheelchair. Eventually, he does do a surgery that fixes the spinal issue, so he no longer needs the wheelchair. Let's see. His father is abusive. He comes from a Christian family. His father makes him hate God. He is a writer, like me, and I have here, he might also be gay. He is gay. He is gay. But anyway, there's Sunny. She has 1 lung. She's a redhead. I thought that was important. She loved hiking. She wants to fly. She wishes she had wings. There's Hickory. I have here a reincarnation of the love of Sam's life. Question mark. And the 2 question marks are very important. But anyway, because Sam is dead and has been dead, the timeline makes no sense to me. Anyway, this is all figured out at some point in the book. Hickory is depressed, says other people ruined the world for her, and she says that the worst feeling in the world is telling someone you're in pain and hearing them say there's no wounds. She self-harms. And then there's Nurse Eric. He's like the one nurse we meet throughout. I kept thinking his name was Adam for some reason, so I kept calling him Adam. He's Sony's carer after her mom died. Whilst I was reading the book, I guess I shot a couple clips for my reaction during certain scenes and my thoughts. So we're just gonna go ahead and look at those right now.
They cannot be serious. Are there stars falling? I ask. It's snow, he whispers. He runs his touch up my spine, reverberating with chuckles. It's only snow. Cool and delicate snow falls to my lips. Is snow ours too? I ask. Yes, he says, his mouth against my neck. Everything is ours. Thank you. My finger stands on his ear. For the everything. This is page 5. This before, wait. Thank you for the everything. And then he says, thank you. Hurt edges his throat. He presses himself against me even harder, like he could disappear into me if he tried, for making me want to chase it. I'm done. This is page 5. I am done. I don't know why I decided this would be the book to get me back and get me out of my reading slump, okay? So what? Okay, we just know it as him as the love of someone's life, I guess. But that's just crazy. Because I'm pretty sure birds are committed suicide. Remember me, he says. Remember that just because the stars fell doesn't mean they weren't worth wishing on. I don't understand, I say, but the kiss is over. His touch has already fallen from my face. He's already turned around and walked away. I reach for him again to interlace our fingers to pull him back as I always have, but death takes his hand instead. Wait, his footprints fade beneath the white erased. Wait. He doesn't hear me. He only hears the night calling from the other side of the bridge of the promise of peace. Wait, please. My tears find fruition because no matter how hard I try, I can't follow him. The shape of our memory spins, disappearing from the street lamps glow and off into the shadows. No, you can't. You haven't. I shake my head. You can't go yet. You can't leave. You, my, my light, my love, my reason. You'll die. The fear digs between my ribs. It breaks my body, my lungs, and my heart. When the dark swallows the last of him, reality comes to reap, and pain lies heavy in its hand like a scythe. The snow spins into a storm. I try to gather the dancing flickers in my hands and somehow send them back to their sky. My knees fall to the earth, burning from the cold. My castle watches me with pity. My tears rain into the river, my whimpers turn to sobs, and my memories turn to nothing. My stars are falling, and I can't save them. This is the before. So it's essentially the prologue. So the prologue is before, and then we go after 5th chapter 1 that takes place years later. But I mean, I've never been in a situation like that, but I would never recover. I would never recover. No. Okay, and then page 10, Sam talks about, well, 9 into 10, which is chapter 1, first page of chapter 1. Sam talks about how essentially being in a hospital isn't a place to get better or anything like that, or a place to get better, or a place to be treated, but a place to wait. And then Sam says, imagine a bomb chained to your wrist. It makes sounds like a heart monitor, day and night. A countdown by the way that you can't see. Look at your bomb, hold it up like a watch, and that'll stare back at you. Sorry, all that will stare back at you is a blinking red light with that barking beep. Remind us that this bomb will go off. You just don't know when. That's what waiting to die is like. A bomb drifts through your veins by the name of illness. Anyway, she goes on to they haven't specified a gender, so we're just gonna call Sam a they. Time, disease, and death are rueful mechanics that way. They enjoy crafting nooses out of fear, and they love playing games. Shadows are their tools, curving over your shoulders with airy fingers, coaxing you into the dark, taking your body, your mind, and anything they please with it. Time, disease, and death are the greatest thieves in the world, or they were, until we came along, 4 friends who do not believe in bombs. And then it goes on, and it introduces the 4 friends. Well, it doesn't introduce 4 friends. It introduces 3 friends. I guess we made the 4th one. I think the 4th one's name was Hickory. Like they mentioned the group of them in the I think the forward. So we meet Sony, Kerr, and the Neo. The C one they call him C. Yeah, they call him C. And Hickory, well, we meet Hickory later, but yeah. I feel like I should mention that Sony is a redhead. Yeah, she is a redhead. I don't know, it's not that interesting. They meet when Sony is like attacking a vending machine because it wasn't giving her a chocolate or whatever, yeah. Okay, so what I'm seeing so far. Neo has a spine issue, he's in a wheelchair, and Sony has 1 lung. I don't know why, but she has 1 lung. And Neo tells her that she can't walk up this, what did you say? Wait, pause. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, he says you talk a lot of shit for someone who can't go up a flight of stairs. When they're sick, torment the sick. I love when people throw shots at each other at their friends. So I guess Sam just doesn't leave the hospital because Sam mentions how Neo, Sony, and C have been in and out of the hospital and they do go home but they never stay home for long. But like Sam doesn't say much about themselves because they mentioned that Neo is a poet, a bitter poet, and like Sony he's silent and unlike C he is remorseless. His spine is fragile but his words make up for it. He's bony and short, so small we call him baby. Sam says that they're fairly certain that he has never won a smile in his life. And C is their muscle. He's essentially a gentle giant, I think. Yeah, he is a gentle giant, and that is how I'm picturing him in my head, a gentle giant. Is Sam real? Sorry. In the forward, they mentioned that the story is told from the perspective of an omniscient narrator, but it's told in first person, who is Sam. But is Sam real? I don't mean to say it like that. Is Sam like a ghost or something? It's probably not sure. It's probably not true, and I'm probably just saying what I want. But then they're talking about stealing, and Sonny says that they should steal everything, and then Sia New is like, everything's kind of a lot. But then Sam says, your lives were stolen. I said, why don't you steal some of it back? Our lives were stolen, right? Our lives, because we're all stuck in this hospital together? Or, you know what? No. Okay, I met Hickory, right? Like, I met Hickory, and I'm still pretty convinced that Sam is dead. Legit. Sam and Hickory were having a conversation, and Hickory tells Sam, it's funny, I feel like we've met before. So Sam said, maybe in a past life. So I wrote here, so Sam is dead and Hickory is the reincarnation of the love of their life. Neither here nor there. Next page. Hickory and Sam are talking about where Hickory's from. So then Hickory asks Sam where are you from? And then Sam says, I'm from here. So Hickory says, the city? Sam says, the hospital. So my note is, Sam is a ghost that has been around, that has been dead for many years and cannot remember where they are from. I will be embarrassed if Sam doesn't turn out to be a ghost. People can see yourself. And I know you're probably saying, but, oh, sorry, you're not reading me. Sam touches things? Yes, allegedly. We're going from Sam's perspective, and people just lie to themselves all the time. I lie to myself all the time. This is strictly from Sam's perspective, what I've read here. So everything Sam says, I'm choosing to take it with a grain of salt. And this book better come out with Sam being a ghost. I've lost my page. No, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not crazy. You've lived here your entire life, haven't you? Another half question. This time the assumption speaks for itself. I told you that I see the same things day after day. Apathy is a symptom of repetition, blah, 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 blah. Life, I say, may not be the right word for what you're thinking of. It finally dawns on her that I may not be exactly like other patients or the people she's met. Narrators are a natural part of the picture until you take a second glance at them. Who are you, Sam? She asks, and when she does, yellow flares dance in her eyes. Something tells me you're more than just a familiar stranger, so Sam is a ghost. And nobody can convince me otherwise. Sam is a ghost. And I will be writing on the page, Brigable Ghost. And if at the end of it, Sam isn't a ghost, I will be very, very embarrassed and I should go sleep because I'm getting a little too excited about this book. I totally just figured out why I'm like invested right now in these characters and this story. Red Band Society, this was a show. I don't know how many seasons it had. And I don't think I ever finished it. But this was the show that was running. And about these kids in a hospital, and some of them suffered from different things, of course. And this is what this reminds me of. This reminds me of Red Band Society. Oh well, I'm getting the same vibes as in this from Red Band Society. I mean, it's been years, but I don't think they were planning a heist in Red Band Society, because like they're planning a heist to steal their lives back and to escape. Like they have a hit list and everything. But yeah, this is what that reminds me of. Red Band Society. Like, it's a really good show. Everyone should watch it. I love to speculate, so, well, this is all speculation. But I'm guessing here that the reason his back, Neo's back, is messed up is because of his father. Because he gets admitted with an eating disorder. But 3 years ago, but when we meet him in the present, he's in a wheelchair because of some spine issue. In earlier chapters, I don't think I mentioned that, but in earlier chapters, when Neo is admitted to the hospital again, he is admitted with like something's wrong with his spine because of his father, because his father abuses him. I think, speculation, I have no confirmation of this yet, that his father was trying to beat the gay out of him. No, this is speculation, but this is based on when Neo was in the room and his father was tearing up his drawings. Not his drawings, I lied. Neo doesn't draw. Tearing up his writings, and he was telling him, oh, he doesn't want him to write any of these things again, and blah, blah, blah. And then Neo didn't write for a while after that. So I'm pretty sure Neo is gay. His dad is homophobic, and he is using the church to try and justify this, like people tend to do. Crazy, I know. And yeah, so he messes Neo up, and that is the back issue. It's honestly heartbreaking. Yeah, it's honestly heartbreaking. Neo's like my favorite character so far. Like, I don't like any of the others like I like Neo. I find them to be annoying. Well, I like Sonny. I don't really like Hickory. I don't like the way she speaks. She speaks like... Anyway, I don't like Hickory all that much. I don't like the way she speaks. I don't really know anything about C because like I get Neo's backstory. I get Sonny's backstory. We don't really get C's backstory as of yet. Unless... he has half a heart. Okay, so after further deliberation, and I mean further reading, Sam might be a girl. I still say might because I'm not 100% sure because I might just be reading that wrong. Okay, so Sam and Hickory are having another one of their pretentious conversations because they do have a lot of those. Anyway, the whole reincarnation thing. Anyway, and then this paragraph, I want to see you, she whispers. Hickory slips a piece of paper no larger than the size of my palm from a fold in the bandage on her elbow. Hickory's an artist, I guess. She smooths down the crease at the center and hands me a drawing of a figure holding a box of books with stars circling her like dancers. I think the her that is being referenced here is Sam, because Sam, when Hickory was on the roof, Sam showed up on the roof holding a box of Neo's books. So like, the her is Sam, so I think Sam is a girl. Maybe, possibly not, honestly. I'm not 100% sure. I could bawl like a baby. Sam gave Sam his name. Sam the love of Sam gave Sam his name. These people are sick and dying, and they're out there just adventuring in this sea. Like 3 of you guys are still in the hospital. Yes, the other 2 are discharged, but one of you has half a lung. Yeah, you fine now, but that's just for now. One of you has half a heart. One of you has half a heart. The other one, okay, Neo at this point is he's just like he has a back issue, but like they did this surgery to fix that. He's just anorexic right now. But like, God, somebody going to die, and I refuse to cry over fictional characters anymore. I'm sorry. Not my name. I thought Neo was my favorite character. He is. But why is Sony dying? Like, I went into this expecting death, but why is Sony dying? Why did I have to jinx her about her one lung? God, she's dying. If he dies, I swear to God, I will throw up. Like, I haven't recovered from Sony. At all. Dead? Is he dead? I'm sick of this. Before. I'm going to be honest. I don't need to know about before. I don't care about the before. I only care about them. I care about Neo, C, Sunny, Hickory, and Sam. Okay, I don't care about Sam. Sam. I don't care. I just want to know, is he dead? But no, I have to go for an entire chapter of before. I don't care about the before. I care about the now. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are none of these characters in therapy? Neo needs to be in therapy. What do you mean? You witnessed your father raping your mother. I should have read this book. Oh my god. I'm so sad about Sony. I'm mourning C2. And now I have to mourn Neo's mother's sanity and Neo's sanity. Is he gonna commit suicide or something? Because this is a very long letter to his father, and Mom didn't even realize I saw it happen. She'd bitten through her arm to keep from making noise and tried to clean up before she caught sight of me. Wow. How sweet of her. How sweet of her. Oh god. So from that heartbreaking part of the letter, so we just jump in it. Jump. Sorry, I get to skip ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, hell no. I shouldn't have skipped ahead. So we jump from that to C. Okay, obviously C was dead. Obviously, at the end of the prior chapter before that. But like, we jump from that heartbreaking thing there to C's death. That's not fair to us readers. Why would Lou do this? God, I feel sick to my stomach. Neil throws his head back against the wall, his crazed laughter becoming a long sigh. I wonder, Dad, would you change now? He asks. If you knew that the boy I love just died, would you hug me and tell me it'll all be okay? He wouldn't. He wouldn't hug you. I should have never read this book. I feel like Neo is going to commit suicide, and I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared at all. Yeah, you know what? I'll just talk about the rest of this in the video. I'm done. I'm done. Live reaction. No, I'm done.
Now, I liked this book. I know I said I hated it, but I did like this book. But the reason I also didn't like this book is because it's what I call too pretty to read, where a book is written in the way that it is very obvious that the author wanted it to be quotable. They wanted a lot of pretty words in there, and with all these pretty words, sometimes it's a bit difficult to read the passages. There were instances where I was reading and I had to read the same line a couple times over because it just wasn't computed for me at all. But other than that, if you look past all of the quotableness, I quite liked it. People have been saying that this story has no plot, and I feel like it should have been very obvious that this isn't a plot driven narrative, it's very character driven. And I've also seen people confused about what exactly Sam is. So this book follows Sam. Sam is an omniscient narrator. They can tell you every interaction that happens when, even if they're not in the room with the characters. I'm just gonna tell you what Sam is. Sam is essentially, I did not write down a note as to what exactly Sam is, but anyway, Sam is essentially the hospital. And that makes no sense the way I'm saying it. So the way Sam puts it is that when the hospital was created, they came to life. And Sam first gained a body when the love of Sam's life that I mentioned in my readings. Yes, so Sam wanted to be his friend. His name was Sam. And that is how our main character got their name, because they were previously nameless before becoming friends with Sam. Yes, I was pretty pissed at the beginning of the story because the love of Sam's life didn't have a name. And then I found out that his name was Sam. And I was like, really? Really? That's what we're doing? Because in the book here, there's a conversation between our main character and the love of their life. So he looks at my face the way I look at his, reading me. What did you say your name was? I don't have a name. You don't? I am. I begin. I am not like the other broken things you know. A name is relevant. Backgrounds don't need relevancy. That defeats their purpose. Sam, with the sky illuminated at his back, thinks otherwise. We can share my name then. Your name will be Sam too, I decided. He declares into the cool breeze, leaning closer to me. Go ahead and try it. See, I'm Sam. My voice is small. Everything feels small compared to him. My name feels anything but. I'm Sam, I say. So contrary to what other people thought, who didn't understand this book at all, Sam is not a figment of Hickory's imagination because Sam existed before Hickory. Sam was friends with Neo before Hickory ever showed up at the hospital. But Hickory is also a reincarnation of the original Sam. That we find that out later on in the book. Well, I already knew that, I'm gonna be honest, because they mentioned it early on in the story when around the time Sam and Hickory first meet and they're flirting. I did not like their relationship, but anyway, I did not like their relationship at all. I hated Sam, and I hated Sam and Hickory. I liked Neo and C, but it was a bit more poetic, but less poetic than Sam and Hickory. Sam, she says, not to me, to the sky, testing my name like a lyric she can't place. It's funny, I feel like we've met before. My heart leaps into my throat. I swallow, unable to speak in anything past a whisper. Maybe in a past life. So I have a note next to that. This is page 28, okay? I was on it from the start. I knew Sam wasn't a human being. So Sam is dead and Hickory is the reincarnation of the love of their life? Question mark. Now, for the majority of this book, I did think Sam was a ghost. I thought Sam was dead. I rambled to my mother, to my best friend, to my sister. Nobody believed me. I was wrong. Sam is not a ghost. Sam is just... I switched to spirit at a certain point because it wasn't giving ghost, it was giving spirit. But yeah, Sam is essentially, from my understanding, a physical embodiment of the concept of hope. Yeah. Some things that bothered me about the story. The deaths. Neo, I honestly expected to die from the start. This boy did not want to get better. I expected Neo to die from the start, from the moment we got introduced to him 3 years ago, because Sam met Neo 3 years ago, met Sony 2 years ago, and met C 1 year ago, and then Sam meets Hickory currently. When we're first introduced to Neo, Neo doesn't want to get better at all. And obviously, as we go throughout the story, we realize the reason Neo doesn't want to get better, it is because the hospital is essentially a safe haven for him, where he can be safe from his abusive father. So Neo dies. I expected Neo to be the first to die. Neo wasn't the first to die. The first to die was Sonny. Neo was my favorite character, but Sonny was special to me because the way she was described, yes, she is white, but her description, her physical description, reminds me of my sister. Red hair, freckles all over her face. Like, that's my sister. That is a description of my sister. And so she was very dear to me. And the time frame on when she died absolutely broke my heart because she dies after they go on their grand adventure. As they work on their great escape to their heaven, they have a hit list, a list of things that they will steal, essentially. So their targets are time, disease, and death. And they have this entire thing, and it is mentioned throughout about time, disease, and death. Time will cease, disease will fester, death will die, and they get those tattooed on them. They're dramatic, I'm going to be honest with you. But they have this little declaration: to all who stole from us, we defy you. You tempt the world and lay waste to it, but try and lay waste to us. Our minds are stronger than our bodies, and our bodies are not yours to call weak. We will kill you in every way we know. That way, when we must go, the playing field is even. Time will end, disease will fester, death will die. As I said, they are very dramatic. But whilst they, work on that great heist, that great escape, in the meantime, they do small escapes. They escape the hospital, and they go out and they steal packs of cigarettes and beer. And they don't smoke them, but they light them, and they don't drink the beers, but they open them up. I guess it's like The Fault in Our Stars, when Augustus has that cigarette. He always has that cigarette, but he doesn't smoke the cigarette because he has lung cancer. So it's essentially like that. But they have a list of things taken. So the tangible things they've stolen: apples, The Great Gatsby, 6 beers, a pack of cigarettes, a coffee mug with a chipped lid, an abandoned teddy bear, a cat. And the intangible things they've taken: a look at the park, a day laughing till our ribs hurt, a full flight of stairs in one go, an afternoon in the library from which we're banned. The first time they try their great escape, they fail. Sam runs back to the hospital because of said love of their life committing suicide on the bridge, and they couldn't walk past the bridge. Yeah, that happened. Anyway, I was sus from that moment that, Sam really and truly cannot go far from the hospital and stay far. Sonny gets better and Sonny goes home. C is a bit better, not recovered. C cannot recover until he gets a new heart, which anyway. So they visit them at the hospital, and then they decide they're going to do it. Because they all stood up to Neo's father, and he was going to check Neo out of the hospital and bring him back home and not let him stay at the hospital ever again. So they decide they're going to do it. They hop in C's father's stolen truck, and they take that truck on a trip. One thing that hurts my feelings from this book is there's a character named Carl who isn't important in the grand scheme of the story. But when they finally make their great escape, and they decide they're going to get tattoos, that is when they get time will cease, disease will fester, death will die tattooed on them. We meet a character, Carl, who tattoos them. And Sonny kisses Carl, and she gives him her number. So anyway, that's important I'll tell you why that is important to me, and it hurt my feelings. So they go to the beach, they have the time of their lives, and then they wake up at a certain point and Sonny is dying. She's coughing up blood, and they have to rush her to the hospital, and it's just so heartbreaking. It's just so heartbreaking. Because they rushed her to the hospital, and I was like, okay, she's gonna live. Tears in my eyes. She didn't live. And I go to my mom crying, and she told me she kicked me out of her room because I frightened her awake, and she thought somebody in our family had actually died. but it was a fictional character, and she told me to leave her alone. So yeah, so Sonny dies after they get back from the beach. Imagine Carl. I have it written down here actually. I bet Carl wonders why Sonny never answered his messages. Imagine meeting this girl. This girl you know is sick. This girl you know who is dying, right? And because Sonny had this thing about her where she could charm everyone, and she kisses you and you fall and you message her and you never get a response because she dies the next day, and you will never know that. You know what that would do to me? That would ruin me. I would never be the same again. So I thought I was better prepared for the next death, which is C's death. C. Oh, when I say C, pissed me off. C needed to do a heart transplant. C didn't want to do a heart transplant. As he told Neo, I don't want to give it up, Neo. I want to keep my heart. So then Neo is trying to convince C that yes, he has to go through the heart surgery. He has to go get that new heart. He's telling him he can't do the surgery. No, this heart is what makes me me, C says, pointing at his chest. He meets Neo's gaze, affection and fear mingling in the mix. My heart beats with thunder and lightning, and I know it's weak, but it's the one I gave you. They should have just let Olma keep his heart, because he did go do the surgery. Anyway, his body rejected the heart, and he ended up dying. Neo committed suicide. Neo had an eating disorder. Remember when I mentioned Neo had an eating disorder and I said I expected Neo to die from the start of the story? The reason I expected Neo to die is because Neo wasn't eating. He wasn't taking any of the medication he was supposed to be taking. So you know how he died? By starvation. That is... Neo starved himself to death. Hickory does get better. Hickory gets better. That was the one character I could care less about, if I'm being honest. I could care less about Hickory, but Hickory does get better. And it is after Hickory gets better, we, the reader, get confirmation that Sam isn't human. After I finished reading this book, I was not okay at all. I sent voice note after voice note to my best friend, crying like a baby. I was not doing okay because Sonny's dead, Neo's dead, C's dead. I wasn't expecting a happy ending, and I guess, depending on how you look at it, Hickory did get a happy ending. But this book sucked big time, and I hate it. But this is the author's first book, and I am looking forward to see what she does with her next book. Anyway, thank you for watching my video about I Fell in Love with Hope by Lamkali. And if you did plan on reading this book, you probably shouldn't have watched this video. Or maybe you can even still go read the book, because I don't think I actually said anything. The only thing I really did was give spoilers. Which, yeah.
Which is saying something, kinda.